Hello all, this is Dr. Anand Nayyar. Subscribe to my YouTube channel Gyan with Anand Nayyar for latest tech videos on unboxings, server administration, embedded systems, cloud computing, simulations, big data, Linux administration, research methodology, ethical hacking, and many more. Hello researchers, how are you? I hope you are fine and doing well. In this video, I will be demonstrating how to install Kali Linux on Oracle VirtualBox, that is version 2017.3, which is regarded as the latest version of Kali Linux. Before we deep dive in the installation part of Kali Linux, let us first of all understand what is Kali Linux. Kali Linux is a Debian-derived Linux distribution designed for digital forensics and penetration testing. It is maintained and funded by Offensive Security Limited. Matti Aharoni, Devon Karanas, and Rafael are the core developers. Now, if we talk of the development, Kali Linux has over 600 pre-installed penetration testing programs, including Armitage, a graphical cyber attack management tool, Nmap, a port scanner, Wireshark, a packet analyzer, John the Ripper password cracker, AirCrack-NG, a software suite for penetration testing for wireless LANs, Burp suite, OWASP, Zap web application security scanners. Kali Linux can run natively when installed on a computer's hard disk and can be booted from a live CD or live USB, or it can run within a virtual machine. It is a supported platform of Metasploit Project's Metasploit framework, a tool for developing and executing security exploits. It was developed by Matti Aharoni and Devon Karanas of Offensive Security through the rewrite of Backtrack, their previous information security testing Linux distribution based on Knoppix. The third core developer, Mr. Rafael, joined them as a Debian expert. Kali Linux is based on Debian testing, and most of the packages of Kali use Debian repositories. Kali Linux is developed using a secure environment with only a small number of trusted people that are allowed to commit packages, with each package being digitally signed by the developer. Kali also has a custom-built kernel that is bashed for 802.11 wireless injection. This was primarily added because the development team found that they needed to do a lot of wireless assessments. Now, if we talk of supported platforms, Kali Linux is distributed in 32-bit and 64-bit images to used on 32-bit computers as well as 64-bit computers, and even it can be used on various development boards like Raspberry Pi, BeagleBoard, even on Android, Samsung Chromebook, Utility Pro, Galaxy Note 10.1, even Alphaba Max, Android U2, QB and many more. So if we talk of some features, Kali Linux has a dedicated project set aside for compatibility and porting to specific Android devices called Kali Linux NetHunter. It is the first open source Android penetration testing platform for Nexus devices, created as a joint effort between the Kali community member Binky Beer and Offensive Security. It supports the wireless 802.11 frame injection, one-click mana, evil access point setups, HID keyboard, as well as bad USB MITM attacks. Backtrack contained a mode known as forensic mode, which was carried over to Kali via live boot. This mode is very popular for many reasons, partly because many Kali users already have a bootable Kali USB drive or CD, and this option makes it easy to apply Kali to a forensic job. When booted in forensic mode, the system doesn't touch the internal hard drive or swap space, and auto mounting is disabled. However, the developers recommend that users test these features extensively before Kali for real-world forensics. So Kali hosts lots and lots of security tools like AirCrack-NG, Burpsuit, Metasploit, Kismet, Meltago, Metasploit Framework, Nmap, Wireshark, to name a few, and there are tons more. So you can see that I've already opened the official website of Kali Linux, that is kali.org, and if you go to some training, you can find some more details of training. Even the documentation is very specialized, and if you want to go for the latest release, click on this Kali Linux 2013.3 release. So let's click over there, and you can find the details about the Kali release. So some screenshots are also there, and even some open source platforms which is already there over there. So everything is properly being set in the Kali Linux. So even if you scroll down, you will find more screenshots over there. So if we click on how to grab Kali Linux, so just go to downloads and click on download Kali Linux. So you can find that the 64-bit HTTP and even the torrent, that is 2.8 GB of the version, is available, and it is my request to download via torrent, and the version should be 2017.3, which is the latest version. So now this was basic introduction in which I have told you what is Kali Linux, what are its features, some of the tools, what is regarding the Kali Linux website, as well as how to download Kali Linux. Now let's go to the part B of this video in which I will be demonstrated step by step how to install Kali Linux on Oracle VirtualBox. So you can see that I've already started the Oracle VirtualBox. So let's click on new and type over here Kali Linux. So the type will be Linux, and version which we can select is Debian 64-bit. Why I'm selecting 64-bit? Because in the introduction I've already told you that it is based on Debian, so it is Debian 64-bit. It is very good. So let's click on next. So let us allocate about 2 GB of RAM. You can even allocate 4 GB, 8 GB or any other amount depending on the size of the RAM which you have onto your computer. So let's click on next. So let's click create. Let's click next, next, and now let's allocate at least 25 GB, or you can allocate more depending on the hard disk type, but 25 GB is what minimum I recommend. So click on create. So you can see that the machine will be created. So before we start, let us go to settings and do some settings on this machine. So let's click on advanced and let's click on bidirectional shared clipboard and bidirectional over here so that we can copy paste the data from the host machine to the guest machine. So let's go to system. So let's check off the floppy disk drive and click on the optical. So let's make it down beside the hard disk drive. Let's go to processor and let's increase to number 2 and enable PAE/NX. Let's go to storage. Over here there is an empty, so let's click on this option, choose virtual hard disk drive. So let's go and select the Kali Linux 2017.3. as you can see that it is 64-bit AMD 64-bit edition which I am installing. So if I click on properties, you can find that it is about 2.68 GB of size. So I click on open, and after that I go to network. So it is better that you go and click on bridged network so that you can be able to easily ping and do some exploits from virtual machine to virtual machine and even from virtual machine to the host machine. So otherwise NAT is also okay, but I suggest you to go with the bridge adapter. So I click on OK. Now everything is set up. Now we are all set to fire the virtual machine. So let's click on start. So follow steps, everything will be going on fine. So even I have created a Kali Linux video before that, and lots of people were asking me that they were facing some black color issue. So it is better that you go to BIOS and you just on the virtualization setting. So now you can see that it has started. So let's first of all close it. And now let's go to view and full screen. So you can see that there are different options, that is live mode, forensic mode, live USB persistence. So let's go with a graphical install so that we can install it without any hiccup. So let's press enter on graphical install. So you can see that the kernel is started booting. So it is my recommendation that you go to BIOS or the UEFI BIOS and you just search for virtualization option and check it. Otherwise you will find some issues in that. So you can see that like a normal Debian setup, we have the first option of selecting the language. So we click on English and we click on continue. So the country which I am living is Vietnam. So I click on other and I click on continue. I go to Asia, I click on continue, and over here I can find Vietnam. So over here you can select your country. So I click on continue, and United States is my default location for combination of language and country. So I click on continue. So the keyboard is default, that is American English, and if you are into some other country you can choose as per your requirements. So it is better to go with American English keyboard. So click on continue. So you can see that it is detecting and mounting the CD-ROM. So it is the same setup like we have done in Debian or any other Linux distributions or penetration testing operating system, which you can easily find more videos onto my YouTube channel. So Partman, again it is using. Okay, so it is done. So it is now detecting the network hardware, and it will automatically take the IP address so that we can be easily able to ping between Kali Linux and the host machine. So it is my request that you change your adapter from NAT to bridged mode. So it is configuring the network with DHCP version 6, but we don't require it, but for DHCP version 4 it is good. Okay, so now you can see that it is configuring the network with DHCP and it has succeeded. So now let's type the host name, that is Kali 2018. So it is good for me. So I click on continue. So domain can be anything, otherwise you can leave it blank. So let's configure the setup and root password. So let me go for my name as the root password. Otherwise the main user which will be taking as root and tour. So now we have changed the password. So now it is setting up the partitioner. So now it is my request that you just set up with this guided using entire disk so that it should properly set up the slash partition, that is the root partition, as well as the swap partition. So I click on continue, and this is the hard disk in which we are going to install, so no need to make any change. So click on continue. So all files in one partition, it is good. So you can see that it is asking me to write the changes, so I just click on yes, and after that it is going to set up, and now you can see that the ext/4 as well as the swap partition is properly being done. So click on continue. Okay. So write changes to this, so let's click on yes. So now you can see that it is formatting the partitions, and now it has started installing the system. So depending on your the speed of your processor as well as your laptop, it can take from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So till it installs, let us pause the video for some time, and in between I will be coming up and showing you the progress. So you can see that almost 50% of the installation has been done. So it is moving up, so we have to still wait. So almost we can say that 80% of the installation has been done, but still it will use some time. So it is updating the list of available packages, you can see. So it is retrieving some files and it is running the Debian package. So I think so that will not take much time now. So it's a heavy operating system with lots and lots of penetration testing tools, forensic tools, exploitation tools, password tracking tools, even social networking tools. So it is fully loaded. So if you are a penetration tester, if you are a forensic expert, even if you are an ethical hacker, so it is the primary and the foremost operating system which you can use in the real world, and you can use it for all purposes. So now you can see that it is installing some extra packages, and now it is configuring the package manager. So it is saying a network mirror can be used to supplement the software that is included in CD-ROM. This may take the newer versions, so use a network mirror. So the only option is yes. So I click on continue. So it demands for a HTTP proxy, but we don't use any HTTP proxy right now, so we just leave it blank and click on continue. So you can see that it is now configuring the APT and it is carrying the mirror. So make it sure that when you install this, have proper steps, otherwise the installation can stuck and you will face a blackout. So depending on the speed of the server as well as the speed of your network, it can take some time. So now you can see that we have retrieved the 22 files, and it has taken about 10 minutes to retrieve the file depending on the configuration as well as the network speed. So let's wait for the next step to have. So now you can see that we are installing the grub bootloader. So we are on the final stages to complete the Kali Linux installation, and the installation can take freely up to 15 to 20 minutes. So it says install the grub bootloader to master boot records, so make it sure that it is yes. So click on continue, and there is an option that is either to enter the device manually or there is a hard disk, so click on this hard disk drive. So click on continue, and now it will be installing the bootloader on the hard disk drive or the virtual hard disk drive which we have selected. So it is finishing the installation, and with this we have successfully installed Kali Linux. Setting up the hardware clock, running update initramfs as we see in the Ubuntu installations. Some cleaning up of the old files or basic files are running. So let's wait for it to complete, And yes, it is saying installation is complete and it is time to boot into your new system. So let's click on continue. And at any time it will start the reboot. So the last stages, you can see that it can take some time because it is a heavy operating system. So even the first boot could be even somewhat slow, but after you go on reboots and re-research of that Kali Linux, you will find that it will not take much time. So let's pause the video again. So you can see that we have started the reboot. And yes, this is the option, that is Kali Linux. So let's press enter and let's boot into first time the 2017.3 edition, the latest rollout of Kali Linux. So it can take some time. Let's wait. So it is still booting. Let's wait for the final boot. So it has successfully booted, and now let's click on view and full screen. We should see the username screen of Kali Linux onto our machines. So yes, you can see. So let's type the root and let's type the password. And the password is the same that we have set during the installation. So you can see that it is taking some time when the first time booting is there. So bear with it. Okay, so now you can see that the beautiful Kali Linux wallpaper is also there. And let's first of all right click and let's us change some background. So we have the background, so let's click on background. So we have different types of wallpapers, just one or two. Some pictures are also there. So it is somewhat very heavy right now. So no pictures are found. So let's click on wallpapers again. So you can see that lots and lots of wallpapers are there, beautiful wallpapers. So let's take this wallpaper and let's click on select. So it is there. So let's close this. And you can see that the wallpaper is set up. So let's go to this terminal and let's first of all see some basic commands. So let's first of all see the IP address of this machine, that is 192.168.1.11. It is good. So let's ping Google with a command that is ping space -3 c3 www.google.com, and yes, it is pinging. So now is the first step to update the repository. So let's go with this command, that is apt-get update. So I think so only one repository is there and it is updated. So let's install some VirtualBox tools, guest edition. So let's go with this command, that is apt-get install VirtualBox. So note down the command very seriously, -guest -x11. So you can see that it is locked. So let's go with this command and let's kill this. Okay, so now it is done. So let's come back to this command. So now it is there. So sometimes some process ID or some process locking is there. So go with that command, that is psaux with the shift slash and grep apt and kill the process. So let's press Y and press enter. And after that installation, we have to reboot the system, and after that I will tell you how to enable the VirtualBox guest editions and how we check the status of that. So depending on the speed of the servers, it can take some time. So let's pause the video for some time till it downloads, and we come back when it gets installed. So almost 50% has been downloaded. So it is somewhat slow. So now you can see that it is installing the next kernel builds. So it will take some time, and even with a high-speed internet connection, you can see that the speed is somewhat low coming from international Kali Linux servers. So almost we are on the verge of completion. So you can see that it is now downloading the guest, and it has taken about 5 minutes to download 11 MB. So there is a speed issue from the international servers. So now it is unpacking the Linux headers, the latest version, that is 4.14.0, setting up the DKMS. So let's wait for finish, and then we reboot the system, and then I will tell you how to enable the VirtualBox. So till it installs, you can see that under the applications you can find lots and lots of tools with regard to information gathering, vulnerability analysis. We have the web application analysis, we have database assessment, password attacks, wireless attacks. So the most important number one you can see, that is AirConnect NG and Kismet and MDK. So in my future videos I will be also telling you how to hack the Wi-Fi passwords. So exploitation tools are also there, sniffing and spoofing, post exploitation, forensics. It's a very great area to work on and research also, whereas reporting tools, social engineering tools, system services, as well as some usual applications. So lots of tools are there. So now it is done, so let's reboot the system. It is highly important for all of you that when you install the VirtualBox Guest X11 or on this operating system or whether on any operating system, reboot the operating system and then you start, otherwise it will not work. So let's come back once it reboots and come to the desktop. So it has rebooted, so let's press enter. And let's go with view and full screen. So it has successfully booted. So it will take some time. So let's go with root login. So let's wait for desktop to boot. Okay, so it is done. So let's go and click on terminal. So let's type this command, that is systemctl status VirtualBox -guest -utils .service. So you can see that the status is already dead. So let's come out and clear it. So let's go with this command, that is systemctl start VirtualBox -guest -utils .service. So let's see the status. So let's enable it. And it is done, I think so. So let's now see the status now. So it is there. So it is taking some problem, I think so. Okay, so sometimes it creates some problems, so no issue. So let's go with some settings. Let's go with some applications, and let's type to search, that is displays. Let's try to change the resolution. So the resolution is 1024, so it is there only. So it is there. So in this video I have demonstrated how to install Kali Linux version 2017.3 version on Oracle VirtualBox. So do give this video a shot, do like this video, and do comment on the description below what future videos would you like to take. Thank you so much for watching, and do like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification for latest upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching.